I'm still pretty new to this. I've made a few videos on the channel before, but this will be a daily or semi-daily thing called Daily Minecraft. Not going to be doing anything too crazy with it, to be honest. It's purely just something for people to come home to and relax with, more than anything else. Got the difficulty set to normal, and another thing, this is just purely a test for content that's to come later. I don't know how well OBS is going to capture this, how many times I'm going to have to rescale the capture input to the output window. Because when I first set everything up, OBS was trying to capture Minecraft, but it was weirdly huge in comparison to what OBS would be capturing. I also need a key behind me in my mic. But this is, yeah, just very early test for later content for the channel. So there's not gonna be too much to it right now. This is going to be a VTuber channel. This is likely going to be a bit potentially, just depending on how people react to it, potentially more niche VTuber channel in comparison to other VTubers you may see. Yeah, this is just going to be like a daily test to see how everything goes, and if everything goes well, great. If not, at least I can say I tried. Ooh, let me just... yeah, that's gonna be rough. I don't have any particular way I play, I just sort of do whatever I want. Nothing more, really. What I'm probably going to end up doing, ultimately, is, going for something a little bit different, maybe, like beta 1.7.3, since that's making resurgence. But, other than that, yeah, I don't have too much of a plan here. Oh, this cave is gorgeous. I would grab the coal with this, but to be honest, it takes an annoyingly long time to get coal with a wooden pickaxe. So I'm just gonna grab as much stone as I can. You know what, I'm just gonna use this as a backup. This is another thing I do, I just sort of slap down a crafting table wherever I am. If I've got the wood for it, why not, you know? Then I can just come back to it anytime I like. Besides, wood is a renewable resource, so I don't have any reason to be worried using all that wood. thing I typically do is just completely dry out caves of all their resources. Gonna use them at one point or another. And now we have the necessary materials to light the place up. Well, some of it, maybe. Probably not all of it. But, regardless, it's useful to have this. Unless I truly can't find a reason to use anything, I use whatever I can. It's a really decent seed. Ah! It fell. Let's see. Yeah, gonna need a little bit more work to get to it. That was a mistake, but I can fix that. Nice. It's gonna be even faster later on. I do not like that. Oh. I should probably find some iron. Oh, that's an Enderman. Oh. Skeleton this early? Hmm. Just in case. I didn't mean to do that. It's getting dark already. Well then. Not gonna do anything too crazy here in terms of mods. Might throw Figura on top of it. If I can even figure out how to get Figura to work with the newer versions, because I believe the final build they made was for 1.20. 1.21 hasn't been modded with Figura yet. It just added to add a little bit of consistency between whatever model I choose and Minecraft. Well, it's not going to be great, but might as well just create a box. I'll probably do some digging while it's night. Going to avoid the cave. No, there's not going to be a whole lot spawning, but still not necessarily the best when it comes to this game's combat, nor any game's combat. Do I have any dirt on me? Ah, yes, I do. I'll make use of that. Put together another one of these. Just so I don't get shot at. Just quickly do this. And another one of these, because I'm gonna need it. Just convert the rest of these into sticks. And these into torches. Oh, yeah, and also there. That lighting error looked really strange. I thought there was a hole in the dirt. Well, obviously there is, but let me just make this easier on myself. Don't need to have any torches here, if I've got them there. My hope is to find at least a little bit more iron or some coal. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but flint will be useful. Just doing this so there's something for me to do while the night goes on. I didn't get to find enough flowers. Some skeletons just grow flowers. You could just turn that to dye. Probably create some concrete later. Ugh. Well, that didn't go quite as I had planned. I have another world, which is why I was sort of expecting that to last longer. I don't know why, but I could never find a use for the alternate stone types, like granite here. I mean, I could probably do it for andesite, maybe. Andesite kind of looks like tarmac. So it'd probably be good for a road. This is what I get for not conserving my shovel. I think this would be roughly the area where I would start digging to find coal or iron. If this pickaxe even lasts. Bright side, I won't have a shortage of stone. Built myself a better house. I probably should have made an axe earlier. Some weird recent news, in terms of Minecraft-related stuff. It's not exactly Minecraft, but there's that one Minecraft clone that was making the rounds for a while, Mind Test. They apparently changed the name to Luanti or something. Probably best to just spell it. I'm not too sure about the name, personally. I recommended something similar, but they instead decided on Luante for some reason. Definitely not my first choice for a name. But they said it was something in Polish combined with Lua to get that name. Definitely respect the idea behind it, but it just sounds a little odd. I don't know how to describe it entirely. It's not quite what I would go for. I recommended something in Finnish. So, I think it was... I forget the name I chose. It doesn't really matter anyway, because I didn't really use that name. But, it was something like a combination of the words endless and creation. And that's what I came up with. There were like a few people in there that were like, yeah, that sounds awesome. It's a really decent name, actually. Still went with Volante. Bottom line. Might as well just grab whatever's here. I would have thought that the fire would have spread a little bit more. It stopped surprisingly close to these other trees. Like, weirdly close. Makes me wonder why these trees didn't get burned down. I need tons of wood. This is probably going to be one of the shorter videos, to be perfectly honest. Because there is a few things I want to do. I want to get on PSO2 to do dailies, and also want to get on VR chat. I've been meaning to help a friend out. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. I wish there was more of this, honestly. Just terrain structures like this, where you've got overhangs. Like, I can vibe with some of the more realistic terrain that Minecraft generates, but nothing compares to the old versions of Minecraft generating these bizarre overhangs, large areas that look like they should be caves, but in reality are just large chunks of terrain generated over terrain. Like this is cool. I've always liked these really strange bits of generation. Especially this. I definitely want more stuff like this. Because Mojang is... Actually, I can't tell if it's Mojang or Microsoft, but one of them has been trying to turn Minecraft into this overly realistic game. And that's not what Minecraft is. It has never been a realistic game. It's always been a silly little fantasy game where you just do whatever you want. That's what I fell in love with. That's what tons of other people fell in love with. I'm not going to drop some names because I won't mention them for fear that the crazies are gonna, lose their minds. Look, I'm aware of what certain others have done, and I am not okay with it. But they were part of my childhood, as awful as those people were. And old versions of Minecraft were part of my childhood as well. I think I started with version 0.5.0 of Pocket Edition when the Nether Reactor first got introduced. Because they were struggling to figure out how they would implement the Nether into Pocket Edition, given the world being so small. and probably would have resulted in the Nether itself being so absurdly tiny that wouldn't have even been worth exploring in the first place. In fact, I think the Nether reactor, Nether Spire, probably would have been the extent of the size of the Nether if it were to be introduced before the infinite terrain generation was introduced into Pocket Edition. Ah, it's been a wild ride. Like, we started off with the Java edition being the main Minecraft. Then you had the Xbox 360 edition, the Pocket edition, which, I mean, everyone at first hated. Because if you had the PC version of Minecraft, you know, it was a major downgrade at the time. Because it was just the creative mode, but with slower block breaking. Which, yeah, that's understandable as to why people wouldn't like that. I personally found it to be a really interesting piece of Minecraft's history. I enjoyed messing around with it a little bit. Of course, I had to really do some digging to find a working APK of it, and getting it to run in BlueStacks was another challenge in and of itself. I just settled for finding a cheap Android somewhere and throwing it onto there, honestly. Because BlueStacks, it used to be good. It used to be really good a while back. But now BlueStacks just doesn't work with half the games you throw at it. Believe me, I've tried. I've tried multiple emulators for Android. And I just couldn't get it to work, so I just threw it onto a cheap Android. That, I think, was one of my family members had it lying around somewhere. Of course, I initially just wanted to get working on BlueStacks so that I could mess around with that version again. Because I have messed with it in BlueStacks before. I have done a lot of messing around with some really old versions of Pocket Edition in the past. Now, if I just want to play an Android version of Minecraft, I'll just throw Classic Cube on there. The frustrating part is side loading, because apparently newer versions of Android are going to do away with the side loading tech that used to be commonplace. I should probably make a sword and just find some sheep. I've used up all my time. Actually, this should really be on slot 1, and then... That's a nightmare and a half. Just Enderman chilling on a tree. Did any sheep spawn at all? Like, I heard a few, but... Oh no, that reminds me of home. Sort of begrudgingly. Reminds me of home. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just not. Gah. there's some foxes. I believe wolves spawn in this biome? I don't know. But it's too dangerous now, I need to get back. Actually, it might be too late, I might as well just start digging. We got plenty of resources after all, so this probably be the best course of action, at least for tonight. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot I was gonna put the seed up. Just get to a spot where I'm comfortable. And then just... there you go. If you want to use it. I live in an area where there are foxes, and I don't think any fox makes that noise. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I've heard them do this, like, screaming howl before, but it doesn't sound like that. That's a bit too high-pitched. So either they were recording baby foxes, or they just pitch-shifted their voice to create the sound of a fox. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they used the sound of a baby crying. You'd be surprised, you know, what they use to create certain sound effects in games. For instance, when it comes to Doom, one of the sound effects that they use is a, like, they poured a can of tomato soup into a tuba, then had somebody blow into it. I think that was the sound for killing a Mincubus. Well, that's the newer version of the Mincubus, at least. Probably not going to use any copper, but be nice to have, at least. Just in case I decide to use it. Getting the honeycomb is going to be the long grind. Actually, if I plant enough flowers, I think some saplings grow with a bee nest on it. Honestly, I think they should have named the bee nest the beehive and the beehive the manufactured beehive. Because that's, I think, a more accurate way of... Actually, you know what, it's... Minecraft was created in Sweden, which I believe is in Europe, so I think a lot of their terms are slightly different, so it kind of makes sense. Oh, it would be super nice to go see the world at some point. It's probably not going to happen, in all honesty, but it would be nice. Of course, there would be some places I would try to avoid. Political differences and whatnot. But if you just leave them to their part of the earth and enjoy yourself wherever you're currently living, you should be safe. Well, for the most part. A good rule of thumb to follow when you're anywhere, really. Say you're going and seeing the world, you really want to study up on the cultural norms of where you're going. So let's say you're going to a place somewhere in Europe where the social norms are a little bit different, cultural differences, and everything. You want to uh, be aware of that ahead of time and follow those cultural and like behavioral norms, even if it's not something that you would do in your country. It's just the respectful thing to do. And some people might call it, self-censoring, but in reality, I mean, kind of is that, but it's just the respectful thing to do. You go to someone else's country, you kind of need to be nice to them, and they'll be nice to you as a result. Even if their ways of doing things are very different from you, it's important to know that. Why are some of these torches so close together? That's not what I intended to do. Also, there's a cave nearby, down there. Okay, it is not daytime yet. First things first, in the morning, gonna need some food. It's actually kind of surprising how long you can go without food in Minecraft. Especially if you eat something like steak or like pork chops. You can go for a few days if you don't do a whole lot of sprinting. Lush cave? Yeah, I think this is the only way you'd find this much clay down here. Speaking of which, this would be good for... Ooh. Easy clay farm. Easy clay farm. Do not mind if I do. This will be gorgeous later on. Definitely using this. Bricks, terracotta, flower pots. Honestly, I kind of wish you could, like, customize how certain brick blocks look. Like, I like the look of stone bricks, but I kind of wish there was an option to make them smaller. Oh yeah, we are so set. Well, in terms of clay. But now what do I do? That's the question. It's gonna be awfully risky being out there, especially with no food. To be honest, what I'm probably going to do with this world is just build a bunch of random structures. That's how I've personally enjoyed Minecraft in the past. Ugh. I'd rather not, thank you. You can stay over there. do like a lot of the new features in Minecraft, but I kind of wish we could get those features without altering like the base game too frequently. Because there have been so many things that have just been altered to be nothing like older versions. And for some of those things I sort of understand, but for a lot of the features it's like a little frustrating that they changed those things. If that makes any sense at all. Like the combat, for one. I kind of understand why they did this. But at the same time, it makes the weapon swinging animation look a little ridiculous. Especially for the axe. I honestly think they should have just kept the old combat, because there was nothing wrong with it in the first place. In fact, it was a pretty natural system, at least if you ask me. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, clay. That almost ended very, very, very poorly. Okay, let's cover that up. Ooh. I'm gonna be paranoid. Well, that'll clear out 2 spaces. Now I need to go back. Might as well just throw another block down there. Where did I... There. I would personally prefer to have all of the same color wall. Even better, just make red bed. You know what? Here's an idea. Chop down a tree. Now you start spawning white sheep. Actually, can I dye any wool red? Let me check. Actually, I'll have to use this axe before I can do that. Ugh. Now that I've done that, I can just throw these two together. Well, I waste a little bit of durability, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Poppy. Red dye. It's gray wool. Nice. Dye. It's black wool. Perfect. Alright. Then I can pretty much whack any sheep I want and get the exact results that I want. Oh, I don't have another. Wait, do these... I forget, do the berries... No, it's just a food source. efficient one either. Yeah, not very efficient food source because there's no saturation. Let's see. No. The DPI on this mouse is a little bit odd sometimes. Just throw my muttons in there. Have a better source of food. While that's doing its thing, might as well clear out over here. And I can start building a better place to live. I think I'm probably just gonna scatter a bunch of houses all over the place. I think it'll be easier to navigate a small city than, say, like, completely procedurally generated forest area. Spruce trees are really nice and all, but they're definitely the most annoying to cut down. Giant spruce trees are a lot better. Which even they aren't even spruce trees, to be honest. I mean, yeah, they are because they're made of spruce wood and spruce leaves, of course. But in terms of like shape and size, they're a giant redwood. Which is why I think, personally, they shouldn't be going for realism in Minecraft. That's another reason. Because, one, you don't get apples from oak trees. You get acorns from oak trees. Two, spruce wood is a lot softer than most other wood types. Three, you can't make like sarsaparilla or anything with birch wood. It's making me want soda. Mojang, you made me thirsty for soda. Gonna need to go on another protein binge after that. Just keep my insulin in check. Well, at least I don't have to spend another night in the caves. forget what... There's another name. There's like a fancy type of root beer. Of which the birch variety is, in my opinion at least, far superior. Probably even better outside of America. Because I'm sure they use better ingredients outside of America. I know it's a little bit sad for me to be saying something like that, but honestly, it's true. You get anything outside of America, it's probably going to be leagues better. Just drop that down here. Do I even have the coal to do all this? Probably not. Well, actually, I'll use that once I start taking damage, if any at all. Okay, I'm probably going to forget, so in the comments, remind me to add a mute keybind to my OBS keybinds. I don't want to keep blowing your ears out with sneezing. Torch down there. I remember back when Minecraft was first getting popular, there were a lot of kids that were like, I want to be a coal miner. If you knew the kind of back-breaking work that coal miners had to endure, what they had to do just to survive, trust me, you wouldn't want it. Personally, I'd like to be a builder, but, well, I wasn't lucky. At birth, I guess, rolled a nat 1. So, here we are. I really do not like this drop-off. This one isn't so bad. Here we go. I thought advancements were supposed to be, like, account-wide. Or was that achievements? I forget. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the whole advancements thing. It's kind of pointless. way too many back there. I don't even have half of what I would need to go down there and do something. Oh, good. Ah! Come on. Do it again. How dare you? Stormtrooper. Can't aim for shit. Don't need that there, but sure. Another thing I really don't understand is like the damage differences between certain weapons. I mean, I get wanting to try and push players to improve their skill, but I mean, there's a difference between pushing players to, improve their skill and, having tiers that are kind of pointless. Also, all of the axes deal the same amount of damage. The difference is the speed at which you can just pick it back up and swing it again. Oh, goody. Okay, throw this in there. This is gonna take a while. One friend introduced me to this one band. I think it was called Aphex Twin. And at first I didn't really think too much into it, but there's some weirdly good music in there. Very strange music, but a good kind of strange. There's even one song that they made. That's literally just the definition of we took shitposting and turned it into a music genre. think it's called Funny Little Man. Huh. I mean, that's not exactly how that works, but sure. Love to see it. Let me get this. Okay. Yeah, the plan is to... I forgot. This. Oh. I think what I'm probably going to do is... Yeah. Try and grab some more coal, then once I've got a little bit more coal, doesn't matter how much, going to call it there. This will be a daily or pseudo-daily thing. It really depends on, you know, how I'm feeling and all that. Actually, you could probably help me. Could you uncover some coal for me? Actually, well, if you're gonna be that much of a... Ugh. I keep forgetting I need to be careful because YouTube is very, let's just say when it comes to swear words, they're a bit of a Karen. Because even Markiplier and numerous other YouTubers have had to self-censor. That's new. Excuse me, I haven't been playing Minecraft all that often, so I'm a bit out of the loop when it comes to the latest in the new soundtrack composed by totally not C418. Honestly, as much as I enjoy the new soundtrack, I feel it's a bit disrespectful for them to do what they've been doing, especially considering poor Dana, he poured his heart and soul into the Minecraft soundtrack, and then he's being told by Microsoft, like, oh, you know, you can't have the music in the game and also, like, sell it for yourself as well. That feels like a very... Ugh. It's a very scummy business tactic. And I really wish Microsoft didn't do that, but you know, it's Microsoft. It's not um, a company that is actively looking for respect. No, 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 no. They're looking for money first and foremost. They are looking for money more than anything else. It means more to them than customer satisfaction anymore. They've proven that with Windows 11. Money means more to them than everything else, and they will gladly ruin the customer experience just to get more money. I mean, we haven't had a truly good version of Windows since, God, 7? I mean, it's debatable as to whether or not Windows 10 was decent. Personally, I feel it felt a little um, corporate, if that's the right word to describe it. It didn't feel like, you know, Microsoft was putting their best foot forward with Windows 10, more just, trying their best to quell the voices of the people they ticked off. And I would switch to Linux as soon as humanly possible if the compatibility ever gets better. Because right now, a lot of the compatibility is sort of it's not quite there. I'll say that, because you've got, I mean, you do have things like Wine and Steam's. I think they called it Proton, which are great compatibility layers that just need a little bit more work, especially Proton, because apparently there's some games that just don't run well on Proton at all, and they don't run well under Wine either. So you sort of have to wait it out. And I could dual boot, but my one friend tried to do that. Microsoft made it just painfully difficult to dual boot. Because, they want you to use Windows. They don't want you to use Linux for any reason. Because it's Microsoft. They make money by listening in on all of your conversations, finding anything they could probably advertise off of, sending that to advertisers, netting them a good sum of money, and then you get a bunch of advertisements related to football because, you were talking about the football game last night and how, the Packers lost or something. I'm not a sports nerd, so I might get that wrong. So sorry for any sports nerds that I upset. I'm really sorry. I do respect, all fandoms. Though I will say a lot of fandoms do need to focus on, being a good community as opposed to protecting something that isn't even in danger. Free loot? Free loot. Garbo. Straight gutter. No, thank you. I just think it should be. You should be able to, eat whenever you want. Just for the saturation value. I do like what the one mod does, I don't know what the mod is called exactly, but it shows you how much saturation you have by outlining the hunger bar in yellow. And I think it would be really nice if you could just eat as much as you like. And depending on how much you eat, there's more of a yellow outline on the food bar. But yeah, that is it for this episode of Daily Minecraft. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this going, probably for the next 1 or 2 years. But, one thing that I'm 100% positive about is, if this is going to continue past the time I plan on stopping it, it's going to be with the new upgraded everything. But yeah, anyway, I will see you all in the next episode if you like. If you got any feedback for me, be sure to leave it in the comments. There's some things that I probably can't do right now, but if it's just like something simple, like, you know, the resolution or the frame rate, well, that might be a bit challenging. I'll have to see how it works. I'll do something about it if I can. Because this is OBS, I could probably use dynamic super resolution. Probably. Because it's Minecraft, I've found that I'm even able to bring it all the way up to like 4K, which I would not recommend you do unless you've got one crazy beast of a graphics card. But yeah. Feedback is always welcome, because I'm always looking to improve. But yeah, don't, like, I'm not going to be able to do anything if you just dislike it and say, like, oh, you suck. Tell me why I suck, so that I can improve off of that. That's something that I don't think a lot of people really put into consideration anymore, is, like, you know, give a little to get a little. You know? This outro is probably going to shorten over time. That's one thing that's definitely going to improve, because I do not like how long this outro has been going. But yeah, I will see you all in the next episode. See ya!